So the first thing you're going to want to do if you want to create a patch for WordPress Core is you're going to need to set up the development environment. So WordPress has created a repository for this on GitHub called wordpress-develop. So we're going to clone this repo. So once that's done, we're going to cd into the wordpress-develop directory, and we're going to run npm install. Okay, when that's done, we're gonna set up the development environment. Now, if you scroll down on the GitHub repo, there's a couple of commands here that we need to run. So the first one we're gonna run is npm run build dev. Next, we'll run npm run env start. And this has created some Docker containers. So of course you need to have Docker installed before you can run this command. And then finally we're gonna run npm run env install, which will actually download WordPress in our Docker container and create configuration files and stuff like that. Okay, so after that's all done, we should be able to access our website at localhost port 8889. And here we have it. Now the next thing I quickly want to set up is Xdebug, because that needs a little bit of additional configuration. So in order to get that started, we're going to work in VS Code. So we can run the command code dot, which will bring us in VS Code. So once we're in VS Code, we're gonna go to Tools, Local Env, phpconfig.ini, and we're gonna need to add two variables here in order to be able to communicate with Xdebug. So the first one is Xdebug remote enable should be set to 1, and the second one, Xdebug remote connect back, should also be set to 1. So we'll save this file. Next, we need to go to the .env file, and over here, local php xdebug, we need to change this value to true. Save the file as well. And then of course we need to start our debugger, and we're going to create a launch.json file. We're going to select PHP. We don't need this part. And then there's one thing we need to add here, namely the path mappings. So we're going to link var www, which is the web root inside the container, to our workspace root. So at this point we should be able to start listening for Xdebug connections. So let's just go to the source folder, the index.php file, and put a breakpoint at the first if condition. And then we go back to the website, refresh. Normally there should be a breakpoint triggered now, but I think you need to also have the browser extension installed, the Xdebug extension, and you need to make sure that it turns green. So if we refresh again, it still doesn't work, and that's because we haven't reloaded our environment yet. So in the terminal we'll need to run npm run env stop, and then we'll run npm run env start to start it up again. This is because we made some configuration changes that need to be available inside the container. So now everything should be fine. Let's F5 again. And now you see it works. So we hit our first breakpoints, and you just can start like debugging like you're used to with PHP debug inside the WordPress container.